In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you to myself, that where I am, there you may be also. John chapter 14, verses 1 to 3. The Barnette family saddened to announce the passing of their mother and matriarch, Mrs. Francilia Barnette, affectionately known as Sazabel, Ma Barnette, or Auntie of Bridge Street, Suffra. She departed this earthly life on Wednesday, July 17, 2024. She is survived by her beloved children, Mrs. Susanna Empress Barnette O'Geese, residing in New York, Mrs. K. Barnette Alamina, educator, residing in Belize, Mr. John Barnette, employed with Wasco of Suffra. Adopted sons, Mr. Serge Leo in New York, Mr. Chester Nathaniel of Suffra. 12 beloved grandchildren. Miss Kashama Barnette in Castries, Mr. Liam Jeff Barnette of Bossage Grocery, Miss Princess Onika O'Geese in Dublin, Ireland, Mr. Sergio O'Geese in Dallas, Texas, Mr. Antonio O'Geese of Jersey City, New Jersey, USA, Miss Amy Gabrielle Alamina, residing in Toronto, Canada, Mr. Andre Christophe Alamina, residing in Cleveland, Ohio, Miss Akina Alamina of Belize, Mr. Khalif Alamina in Belize, Mr. Chavez Barnette of Suffra, Mr. Sergio Barnette of Suffra, son-in-law Mr. Alvaro Alamina, Managing Director of the National Bank of Belize, residing in Belize, granddaughter-in-law Miss Nigella Favria Barnette, Corporate Manager of CIBC Caribbean of Bossage Grocery, beloved great-grandchildren, Ms. Ashley Barnette of Rutgers University in New Jersey, Ms. Adrienne Asia Moses of Castries, a student of the graduating class of 2024 of the St. Joseph's Convent. Savio Geese of Castries, a student attending St. Mary's College. Sage O'Geese of Castries, a student attending Camille Henry Memorial School. Antonio O'Geese Jr., residing in Savannah, Georgia. Beloved lifelong friends, Miss Agatha Joseph in New York, Miss Cynthia Alley in Canada, Miss Edris Shawnmine in Canada, Miss Catherine Jules, better known as Views of Forbay Suffra, Mrs. Gail MacDonald of Diamond Suffra, Mr. Tracy Shawnmine of Suffra, Mrs. Rose Nathaniel of Suffra, also left to mourn. Family members and friends dear to our heart. The Cornell family residing in the U.S., including Miss Christine Cornell, Miss Nelka Cornell, Miss Ingrid Joseph, Miss Gloria Joseph, and Miss Lindell Joseph. Her Seventh-day Adventist family in Suffra, Belize, New York, and island-wide. The Whitfield family residing in St. Lucia in the U.S., the Charles and Thomas families residing in Suffra and Canada, Mr. Trevor James of Canada, the Gerald family in St. Lucia in the U.S., Miss Waveney Braffett and family of Suffra, Mr. Martin Riviere, better known as Paul Gray of Suffra, Miss Mamie Riviere, better known as Mamie or Lady May of Suffra, Mr. Stephen Bailey and family of Hillcrest Gardens, Castries, Mrs. Sandra Emanuel and family in Virginia, USA, Pastor Alexander Bissett in Maryland, USA, many nieces and nephews, too numerous to mention, residing in Barbados, the U.S., including Mr. Vincent Morris Davis, Miss Adela Gerald, Mrs. Esther Cooperband, all in the U.S. Special friends, Mr. Paul Taylor in New York, Miss Anthony Felicia of Castries, Miss Joanna Dusoze of Soufrière, Miss Brenda Francis of Soufrière, Miss Josephine Lionel of Soufrière, Miss Agatha of V4. Persons who assisted with her care, Miss Sandy Nelson of Soufrière, Miss Mary Gustave of Soufrière. Many numerous friends and relatives, too numerous to mention. The memorial service for the beloved Mrs. Francilia Barnette, affectionately known as Cecibel, Ma Barnette, or Auntie, will be held on Sunday, August 18, 2024, at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Soufrière at 2 p.m. And then the body will be laid to rest at the Michael O'Brien Private Cemetery. Transportation will be provided from the Derek Walcott Square in Castries at 12 p.m. for persons wishing to attend the funeral service. In addition, transportation will also be provided from the Soufrière Seventh-day Adventist Church to the Michael O'Brien Private Cemetery and return to Soufrière after the burial. The body of the departed Mrs. Francilia Barnette lies peacefully at Rambally's funeral parlor in V4. May she rest in peace and rise in glory.